Hello, everyone. N here, pronouns they, them, community lead at Livepeer Foundation, and welcome to Watercooler Chat, where we talk about all things community and have discussions on relevant topics within the Livepeer community. For today's network update, some positive news. We had a 4.4% increase in the paid fees last week at $16,523 paid out. Additionally, the participation rate continues to increase. We are at 51.9% now, so thank you to orchestrators and delegators for continuing to stake. As such, the inflation rate is continuing to decrease, nearing a local low a few months ago, which is nice. And lastly, the estimated usage is up slightly, so that's good to see as well. All right, that is it for me. We have a few topics today, so we will get into the first ones we have from Ben. Ben has a few big ones to go through. So, Ben, I'll throw it to you to discuss the three you mentioned.
Sure, yeah. Lots of activity in the capital market space, right? I think everyone's aware of the ongoing discussions around inflation. I think the next update is that we will, provide a bit of a summary along with the risk and scenario modeling that Andrew completed for us. Hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours. I think it's really important that we keep the conversation going. Hopefully people are familiar with sort of the current status as it relates to the discussions in the forum. If not, would encourage you to sort of jump in there and make sure that you're sort of across what is happening. I think the key highlights, right, is that there's pretty much a belief across everyone that change is probably recommended or needed. There is some areas across which people feel broadly comfortable with the change of numbers, and that there is still some outstanding questions, right, around what is it that we're ultimately trying to achieve, and what is it that we would propose is safe for the ecosystem to sort of get going on this journey. So pulling all of that together this week to make it a little bit simpler for everyone to see the bigger picture and drill down into maybe what some specifics could potentially look like is something we want to get going. Side by side with that, another recommendation from the Capital Markets Advisory Board was to address the UX issues as it relates to our on-chain liquidity. There's different approaches that you can take to that, right? But ultimately, all of them require us to increase liquidity. And all of them probably rely on the on-chain treasury being a vehicle to do that. Now, the solution that we've proposed is something called Arrakis Pro. It allows us to do something called protocol-owned liquidity, where essentially the protocol, the treasury, or in this case, the foundation multi-sig acting on behalf of the on-chain treasury, deposits that liquidity into a vault, which they custody and control at all times. I think this is preferable for a couple of reasons. One is that it's exactly as we said, or as I described there, which is the foundation and therefore the ecosystem and the community is at all times in control of the funds. Because of that, it has the ability to check in real time where those funds are and what strategies are being deployed to utilize that liquidity for the benefit of the ecosystem. And just provides a lot more certainty, right, as compared to a commercial or a centralized market maker where essentially we have some sort of loan agreement, and therefore not as much clarity around how those funds are being deployed. So would encourage everyone to jump in and have a look in the forum at that proposal. It does have a substantial benefit to the ecosystem. Essentially, it's a 2 or 3x improvement on slippage for all transactions that are happening through our DEX or on-chain pools, or at least the ones that we're deploying liquidity to. And therefore, I think has a really substantial benefit to the ecosystem at large. I think there's lots of questions around the implementation of that. People might want to understand the operations or who's on the multi-sig, things like that, which we'd be very happy to expand on. So if there's any questions, jump in the forum and ask those or ask them here. But I think probably taking a couple of steps ahead, given we all know we need to take some sort of action on this, people might be asking themselves, whether this is the best use of the capital that we have in the on-chain treasury. I would say yes, it is, but it is a fairly substantial proportion of the current treasury, which I think means that we need to also in tandem start addressing the treasury cap and get rewards flowing back into the treasury, given that's essentially been offline for the last couple of months. That has sort of relevance to the inflation question as well. But within the next 24 hours, I'd like to get that discussion going, not with a specific pre-proposal as such, but more in a similar vein to inflation, to open up the discussion again. So we can try and navigate around what are the goals, what's the community sentiment, and what would be something that we could potentially rally around in the short term. I do think this is really critical, right? To grow the ecosystem, we need to utilize the funds in the on-chain treasury effectively. That was the whole purpose of the Capital Markets Working Group. So yeah, it probably feels like there's quite a few things going on at once. But I think that's the nature, right, of utilizing our capital in the best and most effective and perhaps most productive way for the ecosystem. Yeah, I think that's probably where I wanted to start, Ed. I would anticipate there's going to be a few questions on the back of that. But yeah, summarize again, update soon on inflation. Please go ahead and look at the liquidity proposal, and let's get the conversation going again around block rewards or treasury rewards and the treasury cap, and how that can fund our ecosystem growth.
Awesome. Any, I'm not sure if anyone's had a chance to read it, but any immediate reactions or thoughts? Okay. Also, Pharaoh, and Dane. I'm not sure if you have any topics, but I'll get to you. Yeah, John, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, and I'm just catching up on this post too, but this sounds like this is somewhat a different approach to changing the inflation participation rate parameters. How does this kind of fit in with that plan as well, or does it?
As it relates to the liquidity proposal, is that right?
Yeah, if you guys maybe ran, it sounds like you ran a lot of estimations on how this will affect prices and liquidity and so on. But let's say if we were to also make changes to inflation rate parameters, have you ran any other simulations with that too?
Sure. Yeah, I probably see the inflation, the liquidity proposal as being more separate. What I mean by that is it has a specific purpose, right, which is to allow people in our ecosystem just to sort of have a low cost of transacting, right, to make sure that there is low slippage for people doing various sorts of on-chain transactions, and with that liquidity, hopefully allowing for, I guess, larger transactions or higher worth participation in the ecosystem over time. When it comes to the treasury cap, I think this is where there is, to me, more of a connection to the inflation conversation. There was almost unanimous agreement, right, that we should take some action around inflation, but not unanimous in terms of the reasons for that, right? One reason that people think we should take action around inflation is that perhaps relevant to other ecosystems or perhaps peers, if we were to call them that. Yeah, Livepeer has in some ways had a larger scope of rewards going to delegators in the ecosystem through emissions and inflation. One other group feels like that capital because it is emissions are essentially value or rewards, that could actually be deployed more effectively by directing it back to various value creation activities in the ecosystem, whether that's driving increased quality or rewarding high-performing orchestrators, perhaps funding projects which support the ongoing growth. Some people think we need to tackle inflation by changing the balance of where those rewards go to between perhaps passive delegators and active participants in the ecosystem. That's where I think the conversation around the treasury cap and rewards to the on-chain treasury can come back together. Because if we were to take action by, for example, turning the treasury accumulation back on, net inflation to delegators actually goes down because more of those rewards are going back to the on-chain treasury. So given that that is something that people through the inflation discussion signaled some level of support for, I think it's important to get that conversation going side by side. And that does have a direct relationship. So both Andrew and myself will address that question in a little bit more detail when we come back with a summary around where the inflation conversation and our risk modeling has got to.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the thoughtful answer there. Yeah, it makes sense. Like if there's less inflation, it does help that liquidity issue. But this proposal sounds really important for the liquidity too. Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Hello. So Aphilos here, Sean Gonzalez. I assume that Nick got my message and asked you to invite me to the stage. Is that right?
Oh, so we do by topics. So I was gonna let you introduce yourself. I'm not sure what you're wanting to talk about today, but we're currently talking about like liquidity treasury stuff. So we can get to your topic after John. What is the topic you wanted to chat about today?
The cohorts with Raid Guild Livepeer leading up to ETH Denver for Daydream and the API.
Okay, awesome. So we will put you down after John to talk about that stuff. Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Ben, any other comments, thoughts?
No, I think just want to make sure that everyone's informed, right? If there's ways that we can make it easier for people to follow along, please let us know. Sometimes, right, the forum is a little bit scary. Put your thoughts, particularly if they're not fully formed, out in public. So we just want to make like the conversation around each of these proposals or discussions as easy as possible for people to participate. So encourage anyone, like if there's questions on this call, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes from now, put your hand up. Very happy to answer those. Happy to jump on the phone directly if that's a better format to connect, or always welcome direct comments or questions in the forum. so there's that clear visibility for everyone, and we can sort of keep seeking alignment across the whole community. So yeah, if there's things we can be doing to help facilitate that, let us know. Otherwise, always here to discuss things as they come up.
Awesome. Do you also want to chat about inflation quickly, or do you want to leave that for another time?
I think we're going to provide a fairly major update in the next, like I said, 24 to 48 hours. So
okay, cool.
but for now, yeah, happy to park that. Other than just reinforce, right? I think the key points, which it seems like there's consensus around taking action, but potentially for different reasons. Feels like there's a set of numbers that people can rally around, and the modelling that we've done indicates that it's very safe for us to get started on that journey, given the historical activity around participation. It looks like it would be, over the course of 6 to 12 months that we would maybe start to see some changes around that. So that to me feels like all of the elements to start taking, very sensible first steps. But we want to lay that out in a simple way for people so that they can get on board with that too.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ben, and thank you for all the work. Excited to see the conversation around the proposal for liquidity, and as well the updates on inflation. Alrighty, up next, John. BYC updates. Take it away.
Awesome. Hey everyone, just wanted to give an update with what we've been doing with ComfyStream and BYOC. I'll post a short, brief link here, an update to our latest project update. We tagged ComfyStream 017 on Friday. This is the first release of ComfyStream to support Go Livepeer integration as a BYOC AI worker through the PyTrickle integration. The unique feature of this is it adds cold warm-up ability for new and active streams. We expect this to help orchestrators optimize active VRAM utilization, allowing a ComfyStream worker to support multiple pipelines, and it unloads and loads VRAM as we've seen in the demos, which is, I think, really powerful for expanding our capabilities. Brad has been working with the agent SP this week and previously to integrate PyTrickle and the agent pipelines into Go Livepeer. As we know, the agent SP has been generating a lot of demand on the network, and we've identified an opportunity with improving the gateway API experience, so that agents can be consumed through like a raw RTC stream in the same way that other live AI pipelines are done today. And Jason's been working on our new website, putting together orchestrator documentation. We plan to have that out in the following weeks. We still have a bit of a hang up on the Go Livepeer changes, getting those into main. Brad has moved those into a separate directory of Livepeer, separate package folder to help minimize conflicts. So we're hoping to still upstream that if we can, but plan to continue working to get that on board to the network in the coming weeks. The next steps are to build out ComfyStream to support different node pack configs. So you'll be able to configure a specific Docker build with specific torch requirements, package requirements, and custom nodes. So although many ComfyStream builds could support lots of pipelines, there are those edge cases where you need a very specific build. And so we're looking to support that as well, along with some SDKs for the gateways and some demo apps in the coming weeks. So big update there, but happy to take any questions. I think in the new year, we'll definitely be onboarding gateways and getting more like actual network traffic. I think we'll be working probably with Cloud SP, hopefully, to help engage there. Just checking the chat to see if there's any questions.
I do have a comment from Closet Crafter on liquidity stuff. Do you mind if I answer that, John, quickly?
Sure.
Thank you. So, Cosmic Crafter, this is not so let me try to explain. So basically, when you're trying to, let's say you want to go from USDC to LPT on Arbitrum, or you want to swap it, get LPT or get USDC on Uniswap. That has like a price impact depending on the depth of liquidity on Uniswap. So if someone's trying to, and you can look at the proposal, if someone's trying to swap like $10,000 in USDC, let's say, if they're buying LPT, there's a 3.72% price impact. So you'll only get, that minus 100%. So around like 96% approximately of the value of that USDC you're swapping. The deeper the liquidity, the lower the price impact. And of course, Uniswap does, I think they recently turned this on, but they've always charged some sort of fee for the transactions, of course, cheaper than a Coinbase, let's say. So I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say a transfer fee type idea, but this is more about like on-chain transactions between LPT and other on-chain tokens. I hope that answered the question.
I think maybe I can guess here, but I was
Go ahead.
also have the same question. Like the pool itself, the liquidity pool will make money based on people buying and selling LPT, and I guess maybe the question is, will the provider that's managing the fund, will they be getting a portion of it? I think they get 50% of the trading volume that's generated from the pool.
That's right. Yeah. So they work on a 50-50 split. So essentially, they get rewarded, right, for people transacting through the pool. The other 50% comes back to us, the broader ecosystem, right? So essentially, it's a fee split between the liquidity manager, the market maker, or ourselves. I think this is an extremely good deal for the ecosystem, right? Because we have the benefits that I described already. We have control at all times. We've got visibility. We can withdraw that capital at any point to redeploy it elsewhere if the need was to arise. But also we're the ones generating or receiving some of the value from the fees for utilizing that pool. So that's great. And then, obviously, as it compares to like a traditional market maker, they're generally in the vicinity of up to 15 to 20,000 per month to actively manage our liquidity positions, whilst also receiving all of the rewards for doing so. I definitely think this is the way to go for us, and something that I think can be a real public good for the ecosystem, right? To utilize the capital that we have in that on-chain treasury to make it cheaper for people to be participating.
Is that the only way they get paid, is through the 50-50 split of the fees generated, or is there any other fees associated with them?
No, that's it.
Okay.
We have agreed a 6 to 12 month sort of exploratory period. They may look to create some other sort of relationship or contract to continue that after that time. But in all likelihood, if that was to happen, I would consider doing that from the foundation's treasury, because we want to actively support this. But in the short term, there's no other fees that are accumulating to them, and therefore it's a pretty risk-free way for us to make sure that this is a good partnership and relationship before any further commitments are made.
Additionally, one clarification that might be helpful for folks, Ben, with that 50% trading fee generation, where is that going? Is that going back into the pool for increasing the depth of liquidity, or is it going somewhere else?
That's a good question. I actually can't tell you exactly how that mechanism works. So I'll have to check with Arrakis on that. Actually, I can probably post that into the forum as well. So that's something that I can answer publicly and gives them a chance to welcome other questions. So let me do that. Yeah, I have a gut feel, but I don't want to speak out of turn.
Okay, yeah. So that might I don't know if people were wondering that themselves, but a good question to get answered for folks to know kind of how everything's working monetarily in that way.
Unrelated question. Sorry. I know the Livepeer Treasury has stopped collecting funds for a while. What
Yes.
percentage of the LPT that's currently available is going to be used for this particular ask? Is that something we plan to start up the Treasury funding again?
Yeah. It definitely is, right? Because I think this is equivalent of $1 million at current LPT prices, and therefore it's probably in the vicinity of 40 to 50% of the total treasury. So as it
I
stands
thought it would
today,
be a big hit.
so it is a fairly large investment. It's possible for us to repopulate that treasury fairly quickly. But like I said before, yeah, that there is an expectation, right? That there is multiple things that the ecosystem wants to be investing in and supporting to help secure our continued growth. So I think that's a really important discussion to get going. As I said, I want to open that up today because I think it is critical in the context of our broader growth ambitions, but also highly aligned with the ongoing discussions around inflation and that distribution of where rewards are actually flowing across the ecosystem.
I did some quick math for folks. So it's 51.5% of the current treasury. And you can see the current treasury amount there. Or if you're ever interested in seeing the dashboard that Doug made, thank you, Doug, for making this. There's the Livepeer Treasury dashboard, and you can see the USD valuation of the treasury as well. All right. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Awesome. Well, I'm sure folks are going to take a read on that forum, put their comments, and of course, just share how you feel, share your perspective, and we can have a really good conversation about what it looks like moving forward from the pre-proposal. Another question from Alvin, I'll just read it. Liquidity needs two assets, right? Who will provide the other asset like ETH or USDC, USDT, excuse me. Sorry, I just came in and did not hear the full discussion. I'm pretty sure, go ahead, Ben, you can answer it.
Yeah, Arrakis is going to bootstrap the 50-50 split. So we can start with a one-sided liquidity pool. And then, yeah, essentially, Arrakis will help us bootstrap to that 50-50. So in that sense, yeah, there's no sort of major sale or transaction that needs to happen in the short term to allow us to get started on this. Of course, that does mean perhaps a slightly longer journey to fully realizing, the benefits of that 50-50 split. But yeah, it's definitely something that they will support us with, and we'll be managing as part of the proposal, as part of the relationship that they will have with us to actively manage our liquidity.
Amazing. Great question, Alvin. All right. I think we had one more person with the topic Pharaoh, but I don't seem to see them anymore. Nick, I'm not sure. They had mentioned you. I'm not sure if you want to come up and share any context. I mean, maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't. But if not, see if there's any other questions or topics. Oh, yes. Let me bring up Chang then. Should be Chang. Welcome up. Jump right into your
Hi.
topic.
Yeah, I do have one topic, just to bring back the updates. Last week the community asked, when will be the next stable AI runner version release? The most recent one is back to June, and we're planning to have a next stable AI runner version release in a week or two. Probably latest will be sometime later next week. The main reason is we want to, make the Stream Diffusion Wave 1 final push. We have two more features, coming up, still on the staging testing this week. One is the upscaler, native, and NVIDIA GPU upscaler, and also the messaging pre-processing capabilities, plus temporal net, as a way to improve the temporal consistency to the existing control net. So that work to be concluded, this week, and we originally aimed to release that, this Thursday. If any quality issues come up, we probably delay that until early next week. But when that is released, we will actually take a new version of the AI run and let the community know. So the main purpose for that is, I think, community can take advantage of that version to say, hey, if you want serve the demands only, clustered around stream diffusion family of the models, and that's normally the version you actually normally go after. And beyond that version going forward, we will start to adding more feature support for real water models, which were more tailored to the scope and scope related, backend and such. So hopefully that actually, clarify the situation a little bit. I know the community always, puzzled by, that, yeah, but any questions you can raise, I can answer if anything.
Any questions for John? Looks like no questions. Thank you for the update and getting back to the community on that question. All right, moving forward to define who is the last topic for today.
Hey everyone, we have some updates regarding our content creator and we have created a demo so that you can see the quality improvements.
Hello Livepeer community, Livy here. Do you like my rework? This is our improved content creator. All of this content was created within a Livepeer orchestrator. Whatever you see in the environment, including let us know what you think. And thank you for supporting our journey.
Was the sound okay on this one?
Yes, I was able to hear it.
Perfect. So our new content creator, as you can see, has major upgrades on the graphics. This is the top quality that we get from the stream. It's recorded inside the orchestrator node locally. We have also implemented all the speeds changes that you can see, and this is of course the scenario for it. It is directed from an AI agent. This particular video was created manually so that it can showcase you the capabilities of the newer update, and for people who want to see, I need to change the display window. Please give me a moment. Okay. My partner Dane has been working really hard on making the avatars customizable. Every customization option which is available on the UI, it's also available in the content creator right now. And just to get an example of what is possible, we can launch different environments such as portals, and we can change them on real time. So the AI can direct, for example, a content change and do some post-processing effects and do it mid-run. And this is how we plan on actually going forward with our main user case. We plan to use the content creator as a vertical for advertisement. We believe that it will be very powerful and people will have very soon the ability to put their company logo and any kind of logo anywhere they want in the avatar. And um, the main user case, this will bring some interest. This will, we're pretty confident that this will bring early revenue too. And there is also the main user case, which is about learning. And with learning, the the approach is the following. No one learns at the pace that they can because you learn way better playing games. And why you learn way better playing games? Because games are perfectly created so that they hack your dopamine loops to make you learn faster. They have those micro transition effects which generate more dopamine, they make you learn faster. So we're emulating that in the learning space. It has a huge market cap of $7.3 trillion, I think, and we're very confident on going forward with that. So these were the updates. This is right now being deployed to the orchestrators. We just need to merge the PRs and it will be up for them. And just an extra note, we have closed the Unreal VTuber repository. It's now invite only. Of course, every orchestrator that wants to join will get an email invite and they will be able to join the repository. Oh, thank you, Cosmic Crafter. The repository still stays with an MIT license. We just at this point of time really worried about um, copycats coming in and people trying um, to get like vulnerabilities at this early stage that they can be exploited later. And also like in the 7 and more months that the repository is being up, only Brad and I were contributing on it. Brad recently did the PR. So if anyone here, any Livepeer stakeholder is willing to contribute or orchestrator to join, we'll be very happy to have you join the repository. These are the updates. Once we figure out how we maintain our open source parts while protecting our IP, we will make it open source again. And if anyone has any questions, just let us know.
Amazing, super clear. Thank you for sharing those updates, Define. Like Cosmic Crafter, I also agree it's looking really great and amazing to hear that it's all running on the network. Any other questions, comments for Define? All right. Well, if there's no other topics, I'll give a moment of silence for folks to share any other topics. But if no one speaks up, forever hold your peace, and we will wrap up Watercooler for today. Speak now if you have a topic. Cousin Craft, you're on a roll today. All right, looks like there are no other topics. Thanks everyone for joining Watercooler today. It was great to see all the folks show up. And we will potentially see you on Wednesday for Fireside, but we might not have many guests, so it might be pushed to next week. We will see. But if not for Fireside, we will see you in the community. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Bye.
Catch you soon. Thanks.